Hello and welcome to All Around the Board. Today I'll be taking a look at the 10th anniversary edition of Pandemic. Now it's worth noting that this game plays exactly like Pandemic base game. So when I do my how to play section and the setup, it's the same as the original base game. In today's video I will be taking a look inside the box. I'll be showing you a close-up of all the components inside, including some special miniatures I have. Then I'll be telling you how to set the game up. Then I'm going to be doing a how to play but via a playthrough. So I'm going to play it solo on difficult mode and you guys can check out the game as I play, because I'll explain everything I'm doing as I play it. And then towards the end I'll give my final thoughts about the game. So sit back, relax, pop your face mask on and check out Pandemic. Welcome to the unboxing section of this video. So as you can see, it comes in a Medi kit. It's such a cool effect. But let's get this sleeve off. It's almost impossible to get this off, but I keep it on because it has got the 10th anniversary on there. Obviously when you take that off, there you go, there is your med kit that we need to open. So let's have a look inside. So we're just gonna flip those. And we have the rulebook. Of course we do. I love this. It's a really high quality bit of paper as well. You know, the rules are the exact same as the base game, but you know, the rulebook looks a lot nicer now and it feels more part of the game. Okay, here we go. Here's the board. They've redone this. Again, the layout is the same as the original. But here we go, this is the board there. Now you're going to see it in more detail when I do the playthrough, but there you go, this is the new artwork. They've changed some bits up the top there, but all the destinations are the same, but just generally better artwork. It's quite big to get in shot, so keep watching the rest of the video where you'll see a better angle of that board. Okay, inside here we have got the different character cards. These are the same characters as the original base game, and these double up as a reference card as well. But there is also a separate reference card that you can put in the middle of the table for all players to see. But yeah, we have our your medic and your quarantine specialist, and some really nice artwork on those as well. Okay, we have our infection deck. So these are the cities that get infected, and that's what the cards now look like. As you can tell, they look really nice. Really good quality card as well. There you go. There's all of those. And new artwork on the back there. This is the player deck cards, which have also got the epidemics in there mixed in. There you go. So new epidemic cards. And these are the same as the base, but again, just a better artwork. And well, it matches the board as well in terms of the artwork there. And yeah, these look really, really nice. And I'll just show you an event as well. Oh, there you go. So they've redone the artwork on the events as well. So that's what they look like. Then each of the disease cubes have got a Petri dish. So these are the disease cubes that you put out across the board. And yeah, they come in little containers, which, yeah, look at that. That's a really nice effect. Very thematic and very good storage as well, as you can see, and obviously there's one for each of the colours there. Then we've got proper wooden markers. This is for the outbreaks and the infection level. And in here you've got the 4 disease markers, which are double-sided. So this side they've got the artwork of the disease, and then that's the eradicated sign just on the other side there. But they're hardwood, good quality. Then we've got the research stations, which are wooden. They're basically the same as the base, actually. So no real upgrade as such there. Then the game comes with some unpainted minis. Now I'll show you the painted ones in a mo, but these are the unpainted miniatures that come with the base game. They're washed already, but they're plastic. So yeah, they can be painted on. But I obviously have them separate because when I got this, I was very lucky to get a promo as well. So there was very limited stock of these, but the pre-painted miniatures just there, as you can see in their case. And they look wonderful. They look really, really good. I'll just hold up the medic so you can sort of compare. They're the same mini, but yeah, really nice paint job. So that is everything in there. A nice insert to put everything away in as well. But yeah, there we go. That's the unboxing, and I will show you now how to play Pandemic. In this section of the video, I'm going to be teaching you how to set up the game, and then what I'll do is I'll do a solo playthrough, but I'll teach you the game as you go. Now, this game isn't strictly solo. You could just set it up with 2 players and play it by yourself. So that is what I'm going to do. Before I show you the full setup of the board, I thought I'd show you how to make the infection deck. So firstly, you need to choose what level you want to play. If you want to play easy, you play with 4 epidemics. If you play medium, you play with 5. And if you're playing hard, you play with 6. For this video, we're going to be playing 6. So the first thing you need to do is shuffle the rest of the player cards, and you need to deal cards to each player depending on how many you're playing. So I'm playing a 2-player game, so each player will get 4 cards each. They are going to be the 8 cards that I will use for my characters. Now, with the rest of the cards that you can see here, you're going to flip these over, and then you're going to equally deal these on top of each pile. It may be that you don't quite have enough cards to do them all, so the ones with the fewer cards get shuffled first, because what you're going to do is you'll shuffle a pile at a time, and then you're going to put this down in a pile. Then you'll take the next pile and stack that on top of that pile, and you keep going until you've done all 6 piles. Obviously there'll be fewer piles if you were playing easy or medium. So I'm just going to finish shuffling these, and the last pile there, that goes on top, and that is ready to go. The reason for that is there is going to be 1 epidemic roughly every 6th of the deck. The player deck is already set, as you saw, so that is already done, but I'll show you the rest of the setup just now. So you get your outbreak marker and put that on the 0 space. Get your infection rate marker and pop that on the left 2 under the infection rate up the top right hand corner there. And then each of the diseases need to go in the matching space on the board. Now they need to go the disease side up and not the eradicated side up, because they're not eradicated yet. Now in this, I've already dealt the 4 cards as you saw, and I've put them underneath the characters I've chosen. You're meant to randomly deal them, but for now I've chosen the medic and the scientist. So these are the 2 players I'm going to play. Get the corresponding figures, and you're going to put all figures in Atlanta. All of them start in Atlanta, just in North America there. Also get 1 research station and also put that in Atlanta. Now we need to populate the board with some diseases. So the way we do that is we get our infection deck, and we're going to take 3 cards, and we're going to put 3 cubes on each of these 3 cities. So in this one we've got Santiago, Delhi and Seoul. Then we'll take another 3 cards, and we're going to put 2 cubes of each on these 3 cities. So we're going to have 2 on Tehran, 2 on Montreal and 2 on London. And finally we're going to take another 3, and these ones are going to have 1 cube on each. So we're going to have 1 cube on Atlanta, 1 on San Francisco and 1 on Kolkata. Those 9 cards then go into the discard pile just up on the top right here. These are the cities that can potentially come out when we have an epidemic. Finally, keep a supply of research stations and all of the cubes just to one side, in easy reach of all players, so you can set up the board. And that is everything we need to set up the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a solo play, but I will tell you everything that's happening as we go, and hopefully you'll get the rules just from that alone. And I've set it on difficult mode, so you guys can have a bit of a laugh if I fail. Before we start anything, I need to tell you how to win the game. We need to find a cure for all 4 of these diseases. It doesn't matter if they're eradicated or not, they just need to be cured. To find a cure, you need to have 5 of one colour. So for example, the scientist here has got 3 black cards, I have 2 blue on the medic side. It just means that one of these players has got to have 5 of a cure. The only exception is the scientist has got a special ability where they only need 4. Now to get more cards, you're going to do that at the end of every action phase. You're going to draw 2 cards from here and hope that you get the right cards in the right colours. If you don't, then players will have to meet up in certain cities to start exchanging city cards to find the right cures. Now there's only one way to win, is to find the 4 cures, but there's lots of ways to lose. If one of these dishes runs out of a coloured cube and I need to put another one out and there isn't any, then I've lost. If this deck runs out, then I've lost. If this marker ever hits the 8, then I've lost. Yeah, this isn't too nice really, is it? Yeah, very tricky game, especially on the hard difficulty. Let's see how this pans out. So, knowing that the scientist only needs 4 of one colour, I think I'm going to start trying to get black cards towards the scientist. So I'm going to start with a medic and we're going to play through until I likely lose. On a turn, you're going to be doing 4 actions. An action can be moving from city to city, either via flight or by ferry. I can move from a research centre to another research centre if there was another one on the board. I can treat disease by taking cubes away off the board. I can share knowledge with another player if we have the correct cards and if we're in the correct location. I can discover a cure, and by doing that I get rid of the right amount of cards to find a cure for the disease. And finally, I can go to a city and build a research centre. All those actions I've just said I will explain in more detail when it happens, but these are the mixture of actions I can do. Okay, so I'll start with the medic, and I've got the government grant here, which is an event. These can be played at any time and they're not an action. This one allows me to add a research centre to anywhere I want. I don't need the matching card to get rid of. So I will go ahead and put that in Delhi because I'd like my medic to get over there as quickly as possible because there's a bit of a situation going there. So that wasn't an action. So that means I've still got 4 actions. So my medic is going to move for 1 over to Delhi. Now that's called a shuttle flight, and I can go from research centre to research centre for 1 action. For my second action, normally for treating a cube, you would just take 1 cube away as 1 action. But because I'm the medic, I can take away all 3 for 1 action. That's my second action there. For my third action, I'm going to move over to Tehran, and then my fourth action, I will take away those 2 cubes. Now I've done my 4 actions, I will draw 2 cards from the draw deck and add them to my supply. And then for the third step, I need to infect cities. So I look at the infection rate here, which is 2, and that's how many cards I draw off the top. Now I do it one at a time. So the first one is Mumbai, and I put 1 cube in that city. My second one coming out is 1 in New York. So I'll just place that over in New York. These add to the discard pile over here. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm going to move these just down in front of me where I can reach easily. So I'm just going to pop the infection deck just here. Okay, so that is everything for the medic's turn. It's now on to the scientist. Ideally, I'd like a black card, and the medic has got one. But for me to get that card, we need both characters in Delhi. That might not be happening for a while, although Delhi is actually the space where I've put a research centre. So what shall I do? Shall I share knowledge? So I could set this up as a share knowledge. So let's see what I can do here. I might just wait a little while and sort out a bit of North America and north of Europe, because London and Montreal I've got a bit of an issue. So I will move the scientist 1, 2, and then I'll do 3, 4 to take these 2 cubes away. Then I'm going to draw 2 cards, and there we go. That was the black card that we needed. Fantastic. And I've got a yellow card just as a mixture there. And then again I do the infect city step. So 1 at a time. I have 1 in Beijing, which is just over here, and then I have 1 in Riyadh, which is down here. So far, so good. Then it's back to the medic's turn. So the medic is going to, what shall I do? I think I'm going to get my way over to Seoul. So it will be 1, 2, 3, and then as a 4th action, I will take those red cubes away. Then I will draw 2 cards, and I've got 2 yellow cards. Now just to note that your hand limit is 7, so at the moment I have got 7 cards. So on my next turn I might have to start losing cards to make room. Then I'm going to be drawing 2 cards off of the infection deck. The first one is Miami, and the second one is Chicago. So we've got a lot of North America coming out at the moment. That is the medic's turn. It's back to the scientist. So I think I need to, I'm going to go 1, 2, back to the research centre to hand in a cure. To hand in a cure, you have to get back to a research centre, and I need the right amount of cards. Now, because it's the scientist, they only need 4 of a colour. So I'm going to hand these 4 in as the cure, because this will be my 3rd action. Hand in the cure, and black is now sorted. Now, just because it's cured doesn't mean that it won't still come out. The only way to stop black coming out is to eradicate it. And to eradicate a colour, I will need to get rid of all of the cubes of that colour. So I need to get rid of those 3 black cubes before they spread too much, really. Now, the scientist has got 1 more action, so I think I'm going to move back up to Chicago, just in case San Francisco kicks off there. So then the scientist will draw 2 cards, and we've hit the epidemic. Oh dear, here we go. This is where the bad stuff happens. So the first thing is I up the infection rate. Now, just to note that the first 3 spaces are all 2s. It's when I get to the 4th space that I need to worry. Then I've got the infect. What that means is I go to the bottom of the infection deck and I reveal what it is. Now, unlike when we reveal off the top, we do 1 cube per. This one needs 3 cubes. So this is Tokyo. So I put 3 cubes just in Tokyo there. This goes into the discard pile, and then step 3 of an epidemic is intensify. So to intensify, I take all of the city cards that are in the discard pile, I shuffle them, and I put them back on top of the deck. It's very important that you do put it back on top of the deck, because what this means is all the cities that have come out, they might come out a 2nd time. So here we go. Now bear in mind there's 6 epidemics in there, so I could be in a lot of trouble. So here we go. So that's back on top, and I'm still drawing 2 because it's the end of the scientist's turn. So here's the 2 we're doing. We have Tehran, which is just over here. We didn't want any more black cubes really, because I'd like to try and get rid of them. And the second one is Miami. So yeah, Miami has come out again. Oh, here we go. So it's back to the medic. Now, Tokyo's a bit of an issue, and it could come back out because it's been shuffled back on the top. So I'm going to move the medic over to Tokyo for 1. For 2, I'm going to take all 3 cubes. For 3, I am going to use a city flight. So I'm going to discard Lima to fly straight there. Now, the reason why I'm flying to Lima is because Santiago down here, unfortunately, is looking in trouble. So I'm going to get rid of that. And then for my 4th turn, I will actually move down to Santiago, ready to deal with it on my next turn. Now I've got 6 cards in hand. I'm going to be drawing 2, so in a minute I'm going to have to get rid of 1. So here are my 2 cards. Oh no! That's not good. One of them is a black card, the other one is an epidemic. Again, wow, that's really unlucky. So again, I have to increase the amount there. I then infect, so I take the bottom card off the infection deck, which is Washington. So I'm going to just put 3 cubes into Washington there. And then again, I have to shuffle all the cards that are on top. There are only 3 cards on top, so the chances of me hitting, because I've got to draw 2 of these, I might end up hitting the Washington again, so we could have our first outbreak. But what I mean by an outbreak is if a 4th cube is to go into a location, instead of doing that, it goes off into all directions, and my outbreak marker will go up 1. So I'm going to shuffle those 3 and put them back on top, and then I'm going to reveal the next 2. So we have Washington. Oh dear, that is a 4th cube. So we mark 1 outbreak, and instead of putting 1 on there, I put 1 on all of the adjacent cities. And it is possible that colours start to mix. So in Miami, unfortunately, we've got blue mixing in there as well. Now that won't cause an outbreak if I put a 4th cube there, because it will be a 4th cube of the same colour. So I don't have to worry too much, but I will be sending my medic up very soon to deal with that. And then my second card is going to be Tehran. So I'll put another cube just up there. Okay, so it is back to the scientist. Right, I've got to deal with some stuff here. Oh, blimey. Okay, so let's move the scientist down 1, over for a 2, and then I'll do 3, 4 to take 2 off of Washington. And then I will draw 2 cards off the top of the deck, and I have Osaka and Miami. And then I'm going to infect 2 cities. So we have, one is Miami, and the second card is London. So we now have 3 cubes up in London as well. Luckily my scientist is nearby and my medic is nearby Miami to sort that out. So it's back to the medic's turn. So the first action, I am going to take all 3 cubes off of Santiago. That's for 1. I'm going to go 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to sit up in Miami ready for that. Then I'm going to draw 2 cards. Now I've already got 7, so let's see what I've got. Right, I've got a yellow one and I've got an airlift. I want to keep that. Now I can discard the 2 blacks because black's sorted, so I don't really need that. So I'm going to get rid of those 2 and make room for that. Airlift, move any 1 figure to any city, get permission before moving. I don't need to use that just yet, but that can come in very handy later on. Then we need to infect for the medic's turn. So we have 1 in Atlanta. And then we have 1 in Beijing. Okay, back to the scientist. Oh dear. I'm getting really quite stuck here because obviously there's a mixture of colours going on in both player areas. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, take them off of London. Then the scientist is going to draw 2 cards. There we go, I've got a 3rd yellow and 1 black. I won't need the black. Not really, not unless I want to use it to fly to cities or put down research centres. Then again I'm going to infect for the scientists. So we've got 1 in New York, which is where I've just come from, and another 1 in Delhi. So that will just go over there. Back to the medic. I think the medic has got a big turn coming up now because I need to get rid of those 3 yellow for 1. For 2 I'm going over to blue. For 3, I'm going to get rid of the 3 that are sat in Atlanta. And for 4, I think I will go to Washington, ready to go sort out New York if I can. Oh, then I think, I've got to take 2 cards in hope that I'll get some blue cards. No, I got 1 red and 1 yellow, which leaves me with 9 cards. Now, given that the scientists have got 3 yellows, I think I can safely get rid of 2 of these. Then I'm going to infect for the medic's turn. So I've got 1 in San Francisco and I've got 1 in Montreal. It's just up there. Blue's not looking too healthy. It's all in one area. Have you noticed that? There's no yellows, not apart from Santiago. It's all blue. It's all concentrated in North America at the moment. Okay, on to the scientist. We could meet in Atlanta and I could hand that over. Okay, the scientist, I'm going to move 1 to New York, take 1 off for a second action, and then I'm going to move 3, 4 back to Atlanta. I know that seems weird, but this scientist has got Atlanta and the medic has got 3 blue cards, so it might be worth trying to exchange a city card. Now to do that, you need both players in that city of the city that you're trying to hand over. That's why I'm trying to get to Atlanta. Okay, now that the scientist has done that, they're going to draw 2 cards. Okay, we've got 1 blue card and we've got a 1 quiet night. Now, I'm going to get rid of the black because I need to get rid of that. And I think I'm going to spend the 1 quiet night now. I've got to get rid of another card, but I really don't want to get rid of any of those colours. So I'm going to spend the 1 quiet night now. What that means is I don't have to do the next infect city step. So I'm not flipping over any cards for the scientist this turn. This buys me a turn essentially, which is quite good. Okay, so that means it goes straight back to the medic, and the medic is going to move to Atlanta for 1. I'm going to take Atlanta for 2. Now it does mean that I've got 8 cards, so I will use the airlift now to go straight over to Tehran, and because I'm the medic, automatically for cured diseases get removed. So that wasn't a action for the airlift. I only did 1 and 2, so I think I will go 3 and 4, which means I get to clear these 2 cubes here as well. Okay, that said, I get 2 more cards for the medic. I've got 1 red and I've got a forecast, which I want to keep a hold of. Again, that puts me to 8 cards, so I think I'm going to lose Katarum just because this one's already got 3 yellow. I know I'm chancing it by throwing a lot of yellows away, but we'll see how this goes. Right, what do I need to do now? I need to infect. So what we got? We got 1 in Kolkata, which I remove because I'm the medic. And then the second card is Seal. So I'll just go put that up there. Level. So it's back to the scientist, and I think I'm going to hang around blue and get it back to a safe level. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's get rid of a few cubes there. Then I'm going to draw 2 cards for the scientist, and I've got 1 black, 1 blue. I will actually get rid of the black card because we don't need black at the moment. And then we're going to infect cities. So we got 1 in Tokyo, and we have 1 in Santiago. Right, back to the medic. We need to do some stuff. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to try and eradicate black so we don't have to deal with that. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, which means all cubes have been taken off and black is eradicated. So from now on, if ever a black card comes out of the infection deck, it won't ever infect. So black is sorted. That will really help me for the rest of the game now, I think. Now I draw 2 cards. Oh great, I did get my 5th blue, but I've also got an epidemic. I need to get rid of a couple of cards. So I will... Oh, what shall I do? I don't really want to get rid of the forecast at the moment, so I think I'm going to have to get rid of 2 reds. That's really risky, but hey ho. Right, epidemic. So, move the infection marker up, so now we're hitting 3. I've then got to infect, so I've got to take the bottom card off of the deck. I've got 3 in Jakarta. I was really hoping it would be a black card, because if it was a black card, it wouldn't have done anything. Right, then that goes on top, and I've got to shuffle this entire deck. Now, in my Infect City step, I've actually got to reveal 3 cards off the top of the deck. So this is where it starts to get really, really tough. Okay, so the first card is Washington, which is just up there. Second card, Atlanta. And third card, please be a black card. It is Kolkata, which doesn't happen because it's eradicated. So that epidemic can go there. And now it's back to the scientist. Now, I know that Jakarta is in the pile. It's on the top somewhere. I don't really have a way of getting there. However, the medic does have a forecast. So I might get the medic to play the forecast, which means I can draw and look at the top 6 cards of the infection deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And I can put these back in any order. So Jakarta's not actually in this lot, which means it's still on the top of the deck there. I'm going to put Delhi. I'm going to put Beijing last. I think I'll put Montreal last. Miami can come out because that's pretty safe. And yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So because I spent those, put that back down. And that means that the scientist's turn is a little bit safer because we know that Jakarta's not going to come out this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and control blue a little bit better. So the first action I'll get rid of there from New York. Second action, move to Montreal. And then third and fourth action, I'm going to get rid of the 2 cubes in Montreal. Then I'm going to draw 2 cards off of the deck. And I've got, look at that, 2 red, excellent. So, given that the medic has got 5 blue, I can afford to get rid of the 2 blue from the scientist. So I'll get rid of those. And now we need to do the Infect City step, which is 3 off the top now. So we've got 1 in Miami, and we have Delhi, but that doesn't happen because it's eradicated. And the third one is Seoul. So I'm just going to put a cube just up there. Brilliant. This is looking good because I've got 2 more colours now and I've nearly got the 4th colour as well. So I just need to get the medic handing in this cure. So the medic is going to go 1, 2 to Delhi. 3, I'm going to hand in the cure for blue. And that's going to move down. And then for my 4th turn, I will go down to Chennai so that I can sort out Jakarta on my next go. Right, then I'm going to draw 2 cards and see what I've got. Oh, of course I have. I've got another epidemic. So I increase the infection rate to another 3, take off the bottom of the infection deck, and I've got Johannesburg, so 3 goes on there. That's as far south as it could possibly go. We haven't had any down there yet. And then we're going to shuffle the top of this deck here. Unfortunately, I'm putting Johannesburg back in. Right, and then we're going to reveal 3 off the top. So the first one is Johannesburg. So that's my second outbreak of the game. And that is going to spread to Kataram and Kinshasa. Then I'll do the second card, which is Washington. And the third card, which is Kolkata, which won't happen again because it's a black card. Oh, that really has helped me, actually, having that eradicated early on. Okay, so it is back to the scientist. So the scientist needs to get back and actually hand in the cure for red pretty soon. So the scientist is going to move down for 1. For 2, because it's a cured disease, essentially players get the medic's ability. So for 1 action you can get rid of all cubes of the same colour, exactly like the medic has been doing. So that's my second action. My third action, I'm going to move to Atlanta. And my fourth action, I'm going to hand in the cure for red. So there we go. That is 3 out of 4 cured. I'm having quite a good game at the moment, but I don't want to speak too soon because we've still got yellow to sort out, and I could get a few epidemics at this rate. Then the scientist is going to draw 2 cards, and lo and behold, I did actually get the yellow. So on the scientist's next go, I can actually win the game. Wow, I think this is going to be the first time ever that I'm going to win it on difficult. I thought I'd do it for a joke, and I'm actually doing really well. So let's go on to the infection rate. So we are going to go 1 in Atlanta. We'll then do 1 in Delhi, but we won't because it's black. And then we'll do 1 in Miami, which isn't too bad. Okay, it is back to the medic. So I'm going to move down to Jakarta, and because it's a cured disease, I get to get rid of them for free. That's not an action. So that's 1. I will then go 2 down to Sydney. And then what you can do is a bit like the direct flight where you get rid of a city and then you can fly to it. If you're in the city and you get rid of the matching card, you could then fly to anywhere on the board. So for my third action, I'll get rid of Sydney and I can fly to anywhere I want. And actually, I'm going to fly over to, I think, Beijing, because then that gets rid of those 2 cubes. And then for my fourth action, I'll move over to Seoul and again get rid of those cubes for free. As you can see, I'm trying to eradicate red, because if I can sort out black and red, I'll have just blue and yellow to work with, and I can stay on one side of the board. That'd be great. Okay, so then I need to draw 2 cards. I still got to draw cards, even though we don't need to. You have to draw cards. Got 2 cards there, okay, and then I need to infect cities. So the top 3 off the deck. 1 in Seoul, but it doesn't happen because I'm already there. Then I do 1 in London, so just pop 1 there. And then my third one is in Beijing, which does happen. There we go, I've just got rid of that, wow. But at least it wasn't Johannesburg or anything worse. Okay, back to the scientist. So the first action, I can hand in the cure for yellow. And, because I've got all 4 cured, I won. There we go. What a great way to show you guys the game with an actual win on difficult. I've never done that. Nor have I ever played this on my own. So there you go. There's 2 news. But hopefully you guys got an idea of what's happening there. If you guys have any questions about what's happened or any rules questions, feel free to comment down below and I will answer them as soon as I can. So let's go on to my final thoughts. So there we go. I cannot believe I actually won a difficult game of Pandemic. That's never happened in the history of ever. But no, Pandemic, is this game for you? Well, I recently have said in my Q&A video, if you'd like to check that out, that I believe this is probably the best game to play with either new time gamers or non-gamers. The theme is, I know, questionable, but it's an easy game to pick up. It's the very first game of its type where you actually work together. and every time you play it, it is interesting. Now, the base game alone, I do enjoy it. It's much nicer having this upgraded version, but there are spin-offs of the game that I personally prefer, but the base game every so often is actually really nice to get played. Now, if Pandemic is a game that you've already played, or because you've watched this video you've ended up playing it, and you've enjoyed it, I would suggest definitely trying out some of the different variants, especially the Pandemic Legacy Season 1. I've enjoyed it so much that I'm actually on my second playthrough of it. I'm yet to play Season 2, so in the future I'll let you know how that goes. Also newly released is Season 0, which is the prequel and a standalone Legacy game. And on top of that, you've got Fall of Rome, the Hot Zone, the Rapid Response. What else have you got? There's far too many Pandemics to go on, but yeah, this one is probably one of my favourites because it's 10th anniversary and it looks beautiful, and it's just the basic rules, and sometimes the simpler the better. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you did, please make sure you subscribe down below. Please check out my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages. We're on there, we're having lots of discussions about games. And why not check out my Patreon, which is in the description below. For as little as £1, you can help me support making these videos as you've seen today. But for now, I will say goodbye and catch you on the next video.